A goal without a plan is just simply a wish. This quote perfectly captures the essence of what we are going to be talking about today. That is setting and achieving meaningful financial goals for 2025. But we're going to be going beyond the boring, generic advice. You know, that SMART goal acronym that we've all heard about 5,000 times. Instead, I want to help you more. I want to go deeper. I want to share with you my own personal strategies, how I set goals with purpose, how I stay committed and dedicated, and how I keep my motivation levels burning all year round for impressive results. Impressive results that leave me feeling satisfied, leave me feeling proud, leave me feeling excited to actually launch into the next year's goals. So together, you and I are going to dive in deep, and I'm going to share with you my progress and all those helpful, insightful, juicy tips that have worked wonders for me in my goal setting and goal getting. All right, step number one is your awareness and your why. Okay, knowing where you stand is the first step to knowing where you want to go and quickly making sure that you get yourself onto that path, heading towards where you have your head, heart, and mind set on. Awareness is the foundation of all effective goal setting. It goes without saying. But before I set any goals, particularly obviously financial goals, I do a financial stocktake. I take a whole day to do this so that absolutely nothing is missed or accidentally forgotten about. I look at my entire financial situation. So I'll start with the fun ones first to get me going. So obviously the assets. So I'll look at savings accounts, investment portfolios such as shares, property portfolio. I'll add the value of my home in there. I'll also include my superannuation. And then once I've got absolutely everything, including, emergency money accounts, things like that, I will then move on to liabilities. And this obviously includes my home loan, it includes investment loan, it includes my margin loan that's attached to the $1,000 project. It includes all debts, all financial responsibilities that I have. So for anyone listening to this, yes, it does include your HEX loans. It does include buy now, pay later. It does include credit cards. And then I will also go and look at how much passive income I've grown so far. So I will look at what my shares have paid me in dividends. I'll look at what we're earning from property portfolios. I will also go and look at how much my superannuation has earned in income returns. That is obviously the passive income. I will look at everything, and everything gets written down, pen to paper, which is really important. Now, what this clarity shows me is what in my financial situation needs urgent attention. It also shows me what in my financial growth and journey is actually coasting along nicely. Like when I did this, I was actually quite impressed by my superannuation and how that's going. So that was a nice win. I can also see what's performing well and what's not. And once I've written everything down, I sit, I read, I reread, and I reflect. As I said, I take the whole day to do this. Now, this moment of pausing is really important because it allows me to identify and connect with the areas that I really want to improve and channel my energy into what matters and understand my why. So, for example, when I did this recently during the SugarMamma 10-day financial reset challenge, I realized that our financial float needs replenishing urgently. After Christmas and school holidays, with all those expenses, people being home, being out and about, maybe cabs, occasional babysitter, our financial float got hammered. And I also have to admit, our emergency money is not where I would normally like it to be. So this awareness that was created from doing a financial stock take was really valuable. If I just launched straight into goal setting, I wouldn't even paid attention to those other areas that actually are a priority and need to be addressed as quickly as possible. Also, understanding your why is key. And I feel like so many people don't do this properly or invest enough time exploring and understanding their own unique why. Your why is your emotional anchor that keeps you grounded and motivated and helps you push through on those tough, challenging days. For me, my why for building an emergency fund is about knowing that in the event of an emergency, we're not going to ever be relying on a credit card or having to redraw out of our home loan, and that our financial well-being is never going to be compromised or damaged. I know that we're not going to have to take a massive step back with our goals. And I know that even if we do have to, use money for an emergency money, which for the record is in a redraw facility, we can actually bounce back pretty quickly with minimal damage. That is, dust ourselves off, pick ourselves up, and get back on it again. And having emergency money, it helps me sleep well at night. It gives me a peace of mind and helps ensure that I'm actually putting my family's security as a priority, which makes me feel like a responsible parent and a loving, kind parent as well. So knowing this about my why helps me stay committed to rebuilding that financial float again as quickly as possible and rebuilding our emergency money and seeing it at the level that I would like to see it. And this is really important, as I said, because when you understand your why, it helps when times get challenging, which is always inevitable at certain points of our lives. I should also share with you and point out, awareness also inspires confidence. You see, documenting your financial situation is like setting a starting line on a map. Without being able to see where you're starting from on that map and drawing that line, you don't have a clarity. You can't actually measure or see or feel any progress along the way, no matter how hard you're working. And with that, then, how do you know whether you can celebrate any wins? How do you know to give yourself permission or to actually realize how far you've come? It's just a no-brainer. You've got to have that awareness to help fuel your confidence and faith within yourself. As Peter Drucker wisely said, what gets measured gets managed, or as I like to sort of tweak, as what gets measured gets made. So by taking the time to do a financial stock take, measure your current financial state, you are going to create a very powerful tool within yourself and obviously physically to compare against, as a tool to track and motivate your transformation, as you can actually see from a dollar point of view how you are progressing, what is working and what areas you are excelling at. Step 2, goal setting, flowing responsibly with fun. As previously mentioned in some other episodes and on my Instagram account at SugarMamma TV, I don't really look at balance anymore when it comes to money and goals. Instead, I look at it like a piece of beautiful music, flowing from the chorus, the various different instruments, and obviously being dominant at certain points in the song, the beat, the rhythm. Now, when you come back to the concept of balance, it implies that if you have more of one thing, you have to then have less of another. And that just doesn't really sit well with me. I'm someone who comes, I guess, from an abundant mindset. And this concept was actually created by, or awareness, excuse the pun, was actually created by Jeff Bezos, where he talked about balance being a trap, and really it's about the flow. And he talks about a circle and the fluidity. So for me, with my goals, I try and ensure that I have a fluid mix of responsible goals as well as really fun goals. But at the same time, I know that I'm going to need to keep my energy and my focus moving in a fluid way, bouncing between all the different goals. A lot like a piece of music, when all those different elements come together, it makes a beautiful song for us to enjoy. It is the same with setting goals. Just because you set one big goal doesn't mean you can't set other goals as well. And of course, it is so natural to gravitate towards those exciting goals. Who doesn't want to save for a holiday? Who doesn't want to save up a deposit? Who doesn't want to start investing in shares? But the reality is, by just focusing on the fun things that you want to launch in, you jeopardize or potentially risk compromising what's going to actually serve your financial well-being. So this is where we need to consider those responsible goals, such as credit card debt or paying off buy now, pay later, or maybe you've got some HEX debt, the things that you need to address as a priority. Another classic example is not building up emergency money before you start investing. So allow yourself to enjoy focusing on the fun goals, but also make sure you leave a critical space for those responsible goals, because you never want to jeopardize your financial well-being. And just like all the different instruments, sounds, lyrics, and tunes all come together to make a beautiful piece of music. Learn to blend all your different goals between having responsible goals and obviously really fun goals so that you have a true holistic financial progress happening for yourself in 2025. Now, to share with you some of my goals, because I want to show you how I have found a way to have that fluidity between fun and responsible goals. So let me share these with you right now. All right, number one, this is a fun goal. It's a family holiday. I really want to take my kids skiing to Queenstown, New Zealand this year. I grew up skiing. It's something I absolutely love, and I would really love for my kids to have a really good opportunity to learn how to ski. So this is one of our fun goals. Now, one of our responsible goals, as you are probably aware, it is to rebuild our financial float after Christmas and, of course, replenish our emergency money. So that is a responsible goal. My third goal is actually a fun goal, and that is to try and renovate our kitchen. Our house has had a lot of serious water damage, and the kitchen, even though it may not look like it's on social media, it's literally falling apart. Like doors are falling apart. So many of the appliances are falling apart. It's a bit of a nightmare. So that is one of our fun goals, is to try and renovate the kitchen this year. My fourth goal, which is, I would say, is a bit of a balance, and I know it's the wrong word to use here when I've said I don't really believe in balance, but it's a fluid flow between fun and responsible goals. And that is to try and invest $100,000 into my share portfolio for the $1,000 project. Yes, it's fun because I love investing, it's my passion, but also it's a financially responsible goal because obviously I'm adding to my passive income stream goals. And then my fifth goal, which is a responsible goal, but one I feel proud about having, and that is to try and reduce our mortgage to a specific level. So you can see that these goals have that element of fluidity between being responsible but also being fun. These goals are also written down, and they're written down in multiple places. So they're written down on a piece of paper on my bedside table so I can read them every morning and night. I've also saved them on my notes in my phone. And I've also added them to my vision board, which is something I highly recommend as part of my SugarMamma Money Mindset Manifestation program. The vision board is actually really quite magical, and that's actually set as my wallpaper on my phone. So seeing these goals, fun and responsible ones, on a daily basis really does help keep me inspired and focused, and it helps stop or crush any distractions or temptations that naturally come my way living day to day in a busy life. So this natural fluidity between having responsible goals and fun goals helps ensure that I stay motivated while securing my financial future. I'm feeling that I'm allowing a sense of creativity, joy, fun, and even if you want a sense of materialistic pleasure from renovating a kitchen, for example, with the wise and sensible responsible goals of investing and trying to pay off our mortgage sooner. So you can see, by setting your goals, writing them down, having them connected and related to your financial stocktake is an element of fluidity as well. Step 3, own it. You are what you do, not what you say you'll do. You know those people who are all talk, no action? How frustrating are they? I'm probably the opposite, and this does get me into trouble sometimes because I'm a no talk, all action type of person. Where I'll do something quite bold, and Tom will go, "Do you want to tell me you were going to do that?" And I'll be like, "Oh, sorry, I just got so excited, I just had to get it done, I had to do it, I had to begin." So to help achieve my goals that I've just shared with you, I really do own them. I hit the ground running, and I ask myself this one valuable question. Well, I ask myself a couple of valuable questions, but this one I really love because it's about owning it and ownership within yourself. So I ask myself, who do I need to become to achieve these goals? And I write down a list of the characteristics needed. So, for example, I know that I need to be focused, I need to be disciplined, and I need to be organized in order to be able to achieve these goals. So this really allows me to step into the identity of someone who achieves these goals. I then ask myself, what do I need to do to achieve these goals? Now, embodying these traits really does transform you. It's not about just checking tasks off a list. It's about becoming the person who naturally and effortlessly accomplishes them with grace. And this is the type of personal growth where the magic really happens. And you don't just transform financially, you transform personally and spiritually even as well. So by owning my goals, I tell myself I'm focused and disciplined about rebuilding our financial float and making some extra mortgage repayments. I will say this out loud to myself in front of a mirror. I will say this out loud to Tom. I will say this out loud when I'm going for a walk with one of my close friends, to the beach. Sometimes I'll even scribble or journal this as an affirmation. And what it does is it helps build habits that are aligned to these goals that really do kind of organically come out without me having to think too hard. I'll find myself, for example, naturally reviewing our family budget with Tom, or I'll find myself scheduling time into my calendar to do some more additional research on how to renovate our kitchen in a cost-effective way, after the kids have gone to bed. And science shows that affirmations and identity shifts reinforce neutral pathways, making success feel inevitable. Of course you're going to do it. Sharing goals publicly also creates accountability, while those small daily habits compound into massive results. Step 4, deadlines. A goal is just a dream with a deadline. So deadlines give goals structure and urgency. Once you've set a date, the clock is ticking, and it is ticking, and if you're not moving, you're wasting time, my friend. So without them, it's so easy to procrastinate or lose focus. And of course, when temptation comes, you're a goner. So you need to have deadlines for your goals, deadlines, an actual date in the calendar. And when we do this properly, deadlines trigger your brain to prioritize tasks and get up and take action. Pull your finger out. Knowing that there is a timeline creates a sense of healthy pressure and urgency that helps keep momentum alive. Now, each of my goals that I've just shared with you have a clear deadline. Obviously, I will remain flexible. And again, coming back to this concept of fluidity. So I know that I need to adapt if my priorities shift. Nothing is set in stone. But for example, if a kitchen appliances go on sale, I understand that this is a great opportunity to save some money and achieve that particular goal. I will then prioritize that goal, but then once I've achieved that, I will return to the others afterwards and give those extra goals that I've maybe slightly neglected for a month some much needed TLC to help catch up. Again, it's that concept of fluidity. And this way, it means that I never feel like I'm actually being controlled or directed by my goals. I never get frustrated by my goals and feel trapped. I know that I can dance between them as I need, as I see fit, and as I'm working with an evolving situation around me. But the point is, at the end of the day, each of my goals have a deadline. Now, before I launch into step 5, which is the game plan, figuring out how we're going to achieve our goals, I'm just going to break for a quick second for an ad. All right, welcome back. So step 5, game plan. Okay, success doesn't come from what you do occasionally, but from what you do consistently. Achieving financial goals requires going beyond the regular cash flow requirements. I would love to know that I'm going to pay off my mortgage just with my cash flow. That's not possible. I don't earn enough to wipe my mortgage out. Instead, I need to brainstorm. I need to get creative. I need to think outside of the square as to how I can generate some extra income or some cash injections. So this is where you do a game plan. You literally brainstorm as many different ideas as possible to help you achieve your goals. Now, obviously, there can be things like side hustles, so taking on additional projects at work, applying for another job, part-time work, babysitting, dog walking. You also might want to do a massive declutter and sell items like handbags, shoes. I know towards the end of 2024, I sold my mobile phone and I got $600 cash, which was brilliant. So you need to do a sort of a hit list of ideas, quick once-off side hustles that can help boost you on your goals, help see that progress. If I was to, sell, for example, a handbag and I made, say, $700, that would go towards one of my goals and I would immediately put it towards because it's part of my game plan. Again, by having this written down and knowing that I'm going to sell my handbag, I'm going to put that $700 on the home loan or put it towards the trip to New Zealand skiing, it's set in stone. I'm going to follow that instruction. Whereas if I didn't write this down and I sold my handbag for $700, I could very easily go and spend that on another handbag. And again, it would be a waste. It would be detrimental to my financial goals and I would lose a sense of pride and satisfaction. I'd feel a little bit ashamed, which doesn't motivate me, inspire me to keep going. So it's so important to have a concrete game plan. And I will say this, whilst I have lots of bursts and spurts of ideas and injections of cash and quick side hustles to bring up money, I also never forget the value of small, consistent actions that also make a difference. So I've shared this in other podcasts, but I will share it again. I actually try and do one simple thing for each of my goals every single morning. So every morning when I reread my financial goals, I will ask myself, okay, what can I do today to help make this goal happen or happen faster? And it might be something as really simple as transferring $1 from my savings account onto our mortgage. This may seem silly and insignificant, but over a year it adds up. And also it sends a powerful message to the universe and to myself about how serious I am about achieving these goals. Now for you, that simple, small daily habit to improve your financial goals might be updating your CV, or reaching out to a recruitment agent, or getting on the phone to the mortgage broker to look at refinancing to save some money. Or it might be opening up an online share trading account. This small daily action and habit that is applied to each of your goals doesn't necessarily need to be financial. It doesn't need to be about money. As I said, it could simply be an action. But regardless of what it is, as long as you are doing it daily and it is in positive alignment to your goals, it is going to help build serious momentum and help keep you emotionally connected to your goals, so you have that sustainability to keep working throughout the year of 2025. Step 6, rewards. All right, celebrate what you've accomplished, but raise that bar just a little higher each time you succeed. Small, budget-friendly rewards that are delivered with instant gratification the moment you hit a goal or achieve a certain milestone within that goal help keep you motivated, help keep those motivation levels actually running really high. So for example, when our financial float hits a milestone, doesn't need to be completely achieved, I might reward myself with something like an early mark from work, or getting takeaway for dinner, or treating myself to a massage or a blow dry. The point is, I have many short-term instant gratification rewards along the way, scattered throughout the year, throughout the journey. And these immediate celebrations create a really positive reinforcement, making the journey enjoyable and sustainable. It's a little bit like, and I'm going to completely degrade myself and demean myself, but it's a bit like teaching a dog a certain trick or to behave in a certain way. We are told to focus on positive reinforcement. So they do a wee outside on the grass, they get a little treat. And they know that if they do that, it's a positive thing. So we're really, and it's the same obviously with children as well. So by giving yourself small, little, financially friendly rewards the moment you achieve a particular goal is really valuable to help fuel that sustainability throughout the year and keep you motivated and connected. And finally, step 7, review. Review regularly. Progress, not perfection, my friends. So if you've done the SugarMamma Budget and Cash Flow Academy, you will know that I recommend, and I personally do this myself, reviewing your budget and your cash flow through your transactions and checking your bank balance twice a week. I actually do this every Monday morning and again every Friday morning or Friday afternoon before the weekend. It is game-changing when it comes to trying to stick to your budget, because it really does make you see the reality of your cash flow and how much money you've got to spend. Anyway, if you're interested in doing this particular budgeting program, I've linked it in the podcast notes for you to go and access. But as I was saying, I review the budget and our cash flow and our bank balance and our transactions twice a week. And that then gives me the perfect opportunity to then come back and reflect on my goals at the same time. Now, by reviewing and reflecting on a regular basis, this helps me celebrate those little wins, but also And of course, all of those small little wins, because they are just as important as the big wins. But doing this also helps serve as a magnifying glass and spot areas that need improving. So it allows me to find new areas or opportunities that we can accelerate on our goals. It can also help us proactively plan for unexpected expenses that don't impact our goal progress. So when I look at everything as to how we're tracking and also how much time have we got left of this year, before we know it, it's going to be Christmas 2025. We need to make sure that we've used this time wisely by looking and reviewing regularly. helps us not waste time. It helps us budget and allocate our time throughout the year so that we're not wasting these precious moments to get ahead, these opportunities to seize, to capitalize, and to leapfrog with our goals. Also, by doing this on rough days, reviewing your progress, reviewing your goals, reminds me that we're actually doing so much better than we think. And that can really help reignite your confidence and determination. Interestingly, I had someone reach out to me while doing the SugarMamma 10-day financial reset challenge. And they actually said to me how they felt so much better about their financial situation in doing the stocktake. Because during the stocktake, it served them as a review. And they said they were actually doing so much better than what they originally felt. And in turn, seeing this confidence and faith in themselves helped reinvigorate their sense of motivation and determination to launch into the year ahead. Another really simple way to think about reviews and the importance of reviews is when you're on a diet. When you're on a diet, how do you know if this diet is actually working for you? Well, you jump on the scales. You have a look at what the scales are telling you. You have a look at what your clothes, you pay attention to what your clothes feel like. This is exactly the same principle when it comes to your financial goals, reviewing. This will also allow you to see what is really helping and make a big difference in your financial journey, because then you can see that and hone in on that and hopefully amplify that for even greater success. So never skip on the review progress. Review, reflect, and do this regularly. And again, make it a part of your habit system so you don't think about it, you just do it. So there you have it, my 7 steps to not just set goals, but to achieve your goals with a sense of fun and responsibility. So as we wrap up today's episode, I want you to do something that your future self will thank you for. Setting financial goals is not just about numbers. It's about creating a life of freedom and purpose and enjoying the journey, the growth, and the personal transformation that happens within you. By doing this properly, you'll be blown away by how much you evolve and change and how you really raise your vibration levels. So hopefully by following these steps that I recommend, that I personally follow myself and always have, you can help make 2025 your best financial year yet. I know I believe in you. I know that you've got this. We just need to start. So now it's your turn. Take 15 minutes today, right now, to do a financial stocktake of your own if you didn't do this for the 10-day SugarMamma financial reset. And why don't you have a go at just choosing one simple financial goal to focus on for this month? It might be something like paying off your credit card, or building your own financial float, or perhaps maybe enrolling in one of my programs and courses. Let me know what your one simple financial goal is for this month. I would absolutely love to hear from you. And together, hopefully we can keep making this progress amazing. With this being your year to shine bright financially. Thank you everyone for listening to SugarMamma's Fireplay. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with a friend, with a family member, and let's spread the motivation. In the meantime, here's to a financially empowered 2025. All right, everyone, thank you for listening. In the meantime, keep that financial fire burning bright within. This is SugarMamma's Fireplay. Ciao for now.